Are you a child of divorce?
I'm Mennonite. They don't get divorced. They just hate each other for
the duration. We're recording now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, kids, it's time for Bingo is Life. The podcast over here across the table from me, the hardest working boys in the bingo business.
And the bingo business is pretty big.
Chris and Mike Hattie Show.
Hey, thank you, Jay. It's a hard knock life to be in the bingo business, but we have somehow survived.
Called, if you will. Called to do it.
That's right.
The bingo business is booming.
To my right, moving across the screen, we have the man who claims he is Dan Easley.
I'm Dan Easley.
There, he did it. He did it. He just claimed it.
Mom Shackle's looking great. Back for 2 weeks now in a row.
In a row.
What is happening? Dan didn't use his catchphrase.
No, that's his new.
That's my new catchphrase.
We have
my old catchphrase.
We have a really special guest tonight, and somebody in the silent Dave and Aaron chair who will remain unidentified, I guess.
Right back there.
I'm Jay.
She's a pretty lady, guys.
I'm Jay Zare, still on the green side of the dirt, and you're supposed to laugh at that.
Oh, Jay, you're so hilarious.
And, I was going to compliment your hat.
Yeah, Jay's wearing a new hat today.
$5.99 from Rose's department store.
You went to Rose's without me?
First time I've been in Rose's in like 39 years.
They got some great hats.
This woman is older than Midas. She's waiting on me. I was like, how long have you been working here? She goes, 47 years.
I just wonder, where are they still getting supplies from?
I don't know. That place must be getting ripped off left and right in there.
Are things just falling off trucks? How are they stocking this place?
No.
Do you know that there's Roses everywhere, though? There's not just one. There's another Roses in Lynchburg.
How is it doing? Is it in the same shape?
It's in the exact same shape. It's like a Dollar General, but with a different name.
Yeah, no, and bare shelves.
You can set up a 10 in there and they'll never find you. There's acres in that place. Yeah. There's nobody around. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. How did Bingo was
It's also shocking how poor the service is. Yeah. Every time you go to check out, someone's like, we're going to need a manager for this.
That's because they are so hardworking.
Do they still
support.
sell biscuits and gravy?
No, that's long gone.
Wow.
Long gone.
Well, it's certainly no Kmart.
So what's happening here? Bingo was sparsely attended. It looked like. I think people are afraid the kids are back in town.
Yeah, that's right. The kids are back in town.
Yeah,
Jamie's back.
I think we probably still had a pretty decent number, but I would also say that less. But I did appreciate the intensity of the crowd this evening. Mm-hmm. As we called numbers,
right?
There was some serious silence of people going, excitement about the numbers. It was good.
Yeah, I actually had 3 people who were here on vacation come up to me individually and say, hey, this was great. And one of them said they made it here last year and they made it a point to be here this year to come.
And there they go. They're walking away right now. That's the people.
Hey,
hasta luego.
And I thought, well, does that speak well of your vacation if this is the highlight? I don't know. I like to think it's good.
This is a special event.
Yeah, it is a special
You go
event.
to a town that nobody knows your name. You walk in, it's like Cheers, but
right.
way more approachable for everyone.
Yeah.
And you just go and you have fun, and then there are these 2 guys that are like,
Yeah, that's exactly what
for
we did.
1 hour.
Yeah,
1 hour straight. Yeah,
it's like a live Muppet show.
Yeah, I accept those.
Oh, that's a high compliment.
Did anybody win the $100?
No, again, 150 this time.
But she, the woman who did win, she's got great spirit. I don't know what else to say about her. She uses a walker, and so I asked her, I was like, can you roll a bowling ball? And she says, yep. And she got up there and did a granny roll, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of inspired.
Yeah, well, it was really good. And then, she didn't get the 150, but I said, hey, you got another shot at it. If you get any pin down, I'll give you $20 and a free pizza. And she got another pin.
Nice.
So, she left totally happy.
She was the hero.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think sometimes those types of walkers are called rollators, which I think is a great word.
Rollators?
Portmanteau, if you will, Dan.
Oh, I love a good portmanteau.
But just piggybacking off of that real quick, I know you guys are making eye contact and making plans, but
It's weird.
I saw a license plate today that really struck me. It said Ro-Landa. And it was on a Jeep. And I was like, who is Rolanda? So if you're out there, Rolanda, we're proud of you. We love your license plate.
Rolanda.
Rolanda.
Beautiful. I think, ladies and gentlemen.
We need that? Is it time for that? It's
Yeah,
time for
let's
an
do it.
unexpected notion with
Yes.
Weasley?
I think so.
Oh, well, okay. ZYXWVUTRSQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBNA. Now I know my ZY and X's wouldn't have gotten stopped if I'd been driving a Lexus. I'm Dan Easley.
That was another unexpected notion
Wow.
with Dan Easley.
The Taylor Swift joke. Oh, okay. We'll do that later.
If you drive a Lexus with a license plate that says Rolanda, give Dan a call.
Right.
Hey, we have
Don't.
another really fantastic guest, another intimidating guest on the show tonight. All the way. This is a real musician this time. I think
that's true.
I think he knows the
Oh,
names
yeah.
of all the keys on the piano, black and
Yeah,
white.
right.
Russell Shank.
Welcome aboard, Russell.
Thank you for being here, Russell. Now I'm putting it all together. Just putting it all together. So Thursday, which is in a couple days from now, I get to play music with Russell, and he is a member of the house band that is doing the My Ragged Company tribute to the Rolling Stones at the Restless Moons on September 6th. And we have been talking about getting together and at least having some fun playing some music for a year?
30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say a year. So this is a year in the making, and I'm super pumped to have some fun with this guy because I've heard him play with his other band,
Maggie's
Last Shift.
Yeah.
And I've heard him play just by himself at Restless Moons, just
Nice.
him and a piano. And I saw you play with the Judy Chops as well at Clementine.
Yes.
So you're all over the scene. You're just are you a piano guy for hire right now? Is that it?
for hire.
How much are you paying?
That's a good
We
question.
got
right there.
$27 in the kitty.
That's right. We're going to the big time.
Now, Russell, you're from here, but you recently came back. Well, relatively recently came back to town. Is that correct?
Yeah, about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yep.
And we had Mallory on, who was talking about the military band situation.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Interesting.
So you were in the military band.
Yes.
And your job was to help recruit people?
No.
That was Mallory's job.
Actually, yeah, there is we're there to recruit people to play in the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not play in the Navy.
Join the Navy.
Join the Navy. Yeah.
Sail the 7 seas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite sea that you sailed?
See that I.
Well, there's 7 of them.
Are there really?
No. Oh my God.
Which army band were you in?
It was in the
military
Navy.
band?
Navy.
In the Navy
Navy
band.
band.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did you play keyboards in that
Yes.
band?
Yep.
Okay.
Keyboards. For
What-
the most part.
What kind of tunes did you play? Was it like John Philip Sousa nonstop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
as a keyboard player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Navy.
In the Navy. Yeah, very good.
Oh, so that tune.
All day long.
Did you ever play that song?
No.
No.
Good.
No, I never did.
Hey, tell us.
No.
Hey, would you be willing to tell us a story about how you came up with the name for the Maggie's Last Shift band? This is an amusing anecdote.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Sure. So me and I think you all know Eric Seitz and Sean Bracken and Ryan Ratliff at the time. We had gotten together and combined to form a group of musical individuals that were talented and wanted to play together, and practiced and found a gig at Restless Moons.
Nice.
Which great place to play, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We love Jeffrey Moon.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
And about a week before our first gig, we were trying to figure out a name for our band, and a group text was going on, and I was at Restless Moons, and at the time, Nicole, who works there, was writing out the calendar for the show schedule, and at the same time, I got a group text that said, "Hey guys, we're playing on Thursday. What is our band's name?" And I looked at the calendar, and Nicole had written out it was at the time Maggie Babel was working at the Moon, and on that day it said Maggie/shift.
Yep.
Below it, Eric Seitz, band name to be determined. So I look at the calendar and I take a picture of it and I send it to the band group text message and say, "Hey guys, yes, we need to come up with a name because this is what they're advertising us at."
Yeah.
And the very quick response was, "Well, guys, I think we have a band name."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It is a good name.
It is a great name.
It's a fantastic name.
Yeah, for sure. And we played Maggie/shift at Restless Moon, and it was fantastic, and it stuck, and it's been a great ride since.
Now, the interesting thing about, if you've never heard Maggie's Last Shift, you don't have a vocalist.
That's correct.
And it's it's somewhere between rock and like jazz, right? Is that a fair?
I call it jammy cover band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
cover band.
yeah, we'll take a cover song like The Doors,
Like Light My Fire or something.
yeah,
like
we've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Riders on the Storm.
Riders on the Storm, and kind of go with it and start the intro and catch people's attention, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know this song," but then the vocals never come in,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, I know this song, but it's not like anything I've heard before."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, I love
that
it.
gives you some freedom to go places where you couldn't go if you had somebody locked into the vocals. Is that?
yeah, for
is that-
sure. Yeah. And part of that too, you talked about the Navy, like that was essentially a cover band for me, and playing in that cover band situation it's fun but it's predictable, right? People expect certain notes and music and stuff, and this gives all of us really an opportunity to express the musicality.
How old were you when you first started playing music?
6.
How did that come about?
Yeah.
Was there instruments sitting
it was
around, or
what's the beginning?
Do you have family members who play, or?
My dad was a bluegrass musician,
Okay.
guitar, banjo,
Okay.
and kind of grew up with that. But my mom, church pianist of types.
Okay.
But how I started was a forced, I'm going to take you to piano lessons. And,
Yep.
See how
and
that
it
goes.
stuck though.
well, yeah, it did. I have 2 brothers. It did not stick with them. And
It's
all of us
interesting.
were dragged to it.
Right.
Thelonious Monk's father played old timey music, kind of close to bluegrass.
Yeah.
Some people become really, really good, and some people just never want to play the piano ever again. It's just,
Yeah.
So how long were you with a piano teacher?
First grade through senior year at high school.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what's interesting? So he grew up in Dayton.
Yeah.
Okay, Audubon. He went to Audubon Elementary School.
Okay. All right.
What was the name of your piano teacher?
My first one,
Yeah,
Vonda Reel.
Vonda.
Vonda?
Ooh, real.
Yes.
Wow.
It
What was,
it
what was
wasn't
the
one
name
I
of
had-
yours?
Oh, I don't
just thought it would
remember.
be interesting.
But yeah, that was out in Briar Branch.
It was, Barry Branch. You had a piano
She was very, very old. I mean,
Yeah.
very
Ruth?
old.
Was her name
And
Ruth?
I don't think so.
Rose?
But
That name's too hip.
I know.
I remember as a kid playing, and I looked over at her, and I thought she had died. And like because her eyes were closed, and like it looked like she was like slowly falling over, and I thought, oh my God,
Did you think you'd killed her?
I
with your piano
I was not a good player, so there was that. But like, I thought she was dying, but I didn't know what to do, so I kept playing. And I was looking at her instead of the music. So as soon as I hit the wrong note, it jarred her back into reality, and it scared the living crap out of me.
Nice.
So did you learn to play the wrong notes to keep her attentive at that point?
I think I left piano shortly after that. I was like, okay, I'm done.
It didn't make you feel powerful that you had resuscitated someone who had brought them back from the brink of death?
I played the power of life. Yes, yeah. No.
So I just
Wonder what note
recently
that was.
I just recently bought so we have a keyboard at our house, and the kids like to just pluck on it. I think having a keyboard around is fun because it's just one of those. Hey, anybody who wants to.
It's like having a dog around.
It's like having a dog. But I went and I got this.
I think pianos were the most popular piece of furniture before televisions.
Yeah,
really. Hit
I
the
believe
scene.
that. Yeah. So I bought the little stickers that you put on the keys, so you kind of know what they are.
Did you put them in the right spots?
I did. I did. I know that's cheating. I know that's
Mess
cheating.
with people, yeah.
But I did that, and so there are a handful of things now that the kids. So my son can kind of read some music because he's in band, and so and it's kind of cool to see him pluck things out because he can. How did you learn? What was your method there? Just time, sweet time.
I was lost in the mists of.
Is it like every good boy eats other letters of the alphabet?
Well, there's only A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Those are the letters.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can only go so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You can't spell the whole alphabet if you're playing music, apparently.
I don't want to embarrass Russell. If you've never heard him play, he's at a really high level. He's like above. You have some fantastic classical music, or music. That's probably not the right term, but not rock and roll. I don't know how you would categorize it, but I remember when the first time I heard you playing that, I was just blown away that you had memorized it, much less written it.
Yeah, I have. I think when I look back on sort of the mix of musicality that I grew up with, the bluegrass jams that I sat down with, like you talked about the Restless Moon thing this evening earlier. Like my dad and friends did that growing up, and I've listened to that off and on for 30 years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, having the lessons that I've taken and then just the emotion that's gone into that. And there's been a certain part of me that has found like a musicality that does come out and it's an emotion, but it's a way that I've been able to express myself in writing music. And like you mentioned, it's like.
Do you prefer to have music in front of you, or no sheets, no nothing? You want to be able
no
to...
sheets, no
sheets.
Can you still?
There he is.
Can you,
Russell
cool.
Shank. No
Yeah,
sheets,
no
no
sheets.
nothing.
Yeah, no sheets.
Do you still appreciate the old time music, or does it seem? I mean, you're so far. You're way beyond that as far as what you're capable of.
Well, no, you
comprehending.
still kind of have to go back to your roots, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're listening to that style of music, there's an appreciation for that, and that's where kind of we all started at.
Do you play any other instruments besides the piano?
No.
That's fair.
Adjacent.
Do
He
you play
stands
any
adjacent
others-
next to them.
Do you play any others badly, but you enjoy it?
I have tried a few things,
Okay.
but nothing that ultimately it comes down to, like, I've tried fiddle and dobro and different little things, and I'm like, I'm so good at piano. Like, I really want to
stick
do
with
that.
what you do.
Right.
Yeah, when you're a surgeon, you don't like go out and think, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go propagate an orchard now." It's a different
Right.
apparatus.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up.
Okay.
'Cause I've thought about this a lot. You were talking about, you and I were having a conversation once about the 10,000 hours. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
And you had said you had thought that you had passed that point, because you had suddenly reached a new level of a breakthrough just recently that where you had passed I was so impressed by that.
Listeners, you can't see it because it's an audio recording, but Russell is actually floating about 5 inches above us, a pool of light.
Oh, he's been playing for 10,000
It's
hours.
because of the breakthrough. He's reached nirvana.
Am I accurately describing what happened to you?
Yeah, I feel like over time. I mean, I think Tiger Woods is one example of that. The Beatles is another group that comes up. That 10,000 hours, like you play for a certain amount of time, you hit that 10,000 hours mark of playing, and it just felt like over the past 2 or 3 years, especially moving back here when I actually started getting back into the music scene and finding myself and playing again, like the fingers just hit the notes when I wanted them to.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Don't worry, Chris. Dr. Hal only has about 7,000 more hours to go.
I know. I think I'm only about 3,000 hours in.
Yeah, we're about 3 in.
But you know what, though? We play all the time. But you really have to play all the time.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that is
Every
that
day.
is that is
Yep.
that is the beauty of but I should say, man, I think this town's super lucky that you landed back in it.
Oh yeah.
Maggie's last shift. But on top of that, which is, awesome, I saw you just playing. It was really cool. You were sitting at the Restless Moons just playing a bunch of Christmas songs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fantastic. It set a mood. It was a feeling. And they were good. People recognized them. It was
just weird that it was an Easter.
Oh, Russell, here's the avant-garde.
How did the gig go at the Friendly Fermenter? I was
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
What kind of things are you doing down there?
Kind of, it's a mix of my own stuff and then kind of recognizable tunes, like piano.
And no vocals.
No vocals.
Yeah, just you're playing the piano.
No.
Yeah, beautiful.
So if somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, can you play this?" Do you do that, or can you, or would you?
He
Yes.
smacks him.
Nobody cries.
My response is generally yes.
Yeah.
I might not know that exact tune.
Right,
but I'm going to play a song that has
Right.
most of the same notes. I
What
think.
would be a song
Yeah.
that people often request? Is there something that people have said, like, play the piano man? I mean, I feel like
That's our father. He'll
That's
come
right,
up
yeah.
to any piano player. Play the piano man.
Yeah.
Hey, piano man. Play the piano
Play
man.
the piano man.
I am the piano man. Why do I need to play myself?
Just sing us a song. You're the piano man.
So when you're playing, are you thinking in terms of? Do you have to intellectually think about chord progressions and fifths and intervals, or is that just coming to you, flowing out of your mind naturally, without thinking about it?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
That's.
Would you ever consider doing the piano bar thing? Like I was in Manhattan once, and there was this guy named Chicken Delicious who was he was amazing. He had been the apprentice to John and Yoko's astrologer, and so he would do people's numbers. But he was also it was at Mimi's Piano Bar in the theater district, and this guy he passed away a few years ago, but he was the most sensitive accompanist. Piano player I've ever witnessed. I've never, I sang some Elvis tune, and just his ability to interact with a singer was just the most subtle and masterful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he needs $27.
But yeah, but it was great fun, and just a constant stream of people coming up singing standards and songbooks.
So yeah, will you do piano bar?
Yeah.
Well, I think
For the right money.
for the right money, of course.
Sure, yeah.
Well, doesn't piano bar? Isn't that usually like some hack playing
Well, I mean, I don't know.
singing and
No
playing?
way.
No.
I don't think so. I think they're super
Yeah, I
talented
think
people.
they're pretty talented.
Yeah, the few I've seen, it's two guys going back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
And that takes some
Yeah.
companionship, right? You need two guys there.
Right.
This guy had a bunch of props and masks and stuff. And he'd talk to the people. He'd be like, "Where are you from?" And they'd be like, "From Texas." "Oh, okay." And sorry, he was gayer than Christmas, so that's why he'd put on this cow mask.
Are we allowed to say that?
Saying all
Sure,
my Texas
that's
living,
hilarious.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Huh. That's cool.
Why are you crying, little girl? Don't you want to laugh?
No, I saw a wonderful piano show in D.C. once that I don't know. That's an entertaining show. With interacting with the crowd, there's comedy, there's improv, there's just and it obviously you got to know what people are talking about and being able to play it. It's pretty impressive to see.
You feel like, do you prefer acoustic piano in the ultimately, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have a fantastic one of the top. What's that main keyboard you play a lot of times?
Nord.
The Nord, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still not quite the same
It's
as
not an acoustic. No.
an acoustic piano.
If I could hire guys to, I have a grand piano in my house. If I could hire them to move it around, I would.
Right.
Oh, you could just like put it on a flatbed and you could like strap yourself to it, just ride around town.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
my mom has a flatbed.
There you go.
Yeah.
And your mom's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah. No,
Love that lady.
Yeah,
Your mom
for
is
sure.
awesome.
Did you have you treated the rooms to acoustically?
No, it's a small space.
But it still sounds good to you in there.
Yes.
That's a pretty big. Would you say? That's a big piano, right?
Yeah, it's about the size of this table.
And this table is pretty big.
Big table.
For our radio listeners.
For our radio listeners, he has gestured at a table that is approximately the size of a grand piano.
At least a couple cubits.
Okay, all right. I actually just went this summer with my family and saw Ben Folds live. He did. He's a fantastic piano player. I love Ben Folds. Man, he can play. Super fun. Who are your top three? Do you have top three that you're like, oh man, these are my people I liked that maybe inspire you or you appreciate?
John Lord.
John Lord.
Yeah. Deep Purple.
Deep Purple.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right. Which you talk about the classical like pianist growing up, and that's how I did that.
I thought he was going to say Victor Borga.
Glenn Gould or Keith Jarrett or one of those cats.
Yeah.
But that like sense of growing up classically trained and then moving into a
Rock and roll.
band.
Yeah.
Like that's what John Lord did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
very cool.
and part of that Navy experience was like getting into a cover band is part of what we did. You talked about the recruiting. Was it the water or the beer?
Wow. Amazing.
She's so good.
She's a nice lady.
Wow. You are so lucky.
Oh, I know.
For our listeners,
For our listeners, that was a very lovely lady who
shows
came
up with drinks.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But that classically trained like keyboardist growing up and then getting into a rock band and like, what is a B3 again? And what is this rotating amplifier that's sitting beside me? But that's a whole different instrument.
Do you remember the first time you heard a keyboard in popular music or rock and roll music as a kid?
No, I'm not sure I do remember that. No.
I remember hearing Riders on the Storm when I was on the AM radio. When I was, that was
Was that the cascading piano? Is that what that was?
Yeah, yeah.
Keys? Okay. That's what
I
that was
can do
the
that better
interpretation.
than what he
Totally
said.
doing that. We're totally doing that tomorrow night. Thursday night.
Are you excited about the upcoming show? I know you're going to be at you're going to be at my house on Thursday. And playing with Dr. Hal. And are you looking forward to the show? The Stones tribute.
So we don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
for
we
sure.
don't. We're not telling everybody what songs
That's
Maggie's
right.
last
That's
shift is doing.
Shaft.
Wow.
Maggie's last Shank.
That's a different.
That's a completely different band.
That band plays after 10 p.m. It is an 18-year-old and up evening. You got to get your wristbands early.
Woo! Yeah. Oh man. But we are super excited. So I was saying earlier, Josh Vanna is going to be in the house band. Russell is in the house band. Of course, Christian Parrott.
Yep.
Dave Abbott, Mike Howdyshell,
Yes.
Doug Pitts on some of it.
Yep.
It's just going to be.
And you, of course.
Well, yeah, but it's just going to be fun. I mean, and all those people are great, and they're fun to play with because they've been playing for. No one's
Not 10,000 hours.
not.
then.
Well,
Yeah,
Doug,
maybe.
I bet Doug is there.
Doug definitely is
I bet
there.
Doug is there. Yeah, Doug is there. But I mean, they're just good people, and I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be
So
fun.
I'm really excited about it. The whole evening is going to be a hoot. Dan Easley is going to be playing that evening.
I'm
Yep.
Dan Easley.
Uh-huh.
Now, tell me who all you're playing with that night.
I'm playing with the Automatic Sweethearts. So Mark Lane's going to play guitar, and Scott Lowe's going to play bass, and I'm going to be the singing drummer, and we'll have the Hot Mamas singing along with us, and we'll have Josh Vanna playing some tasty licks along with us.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it. I think we've laid it out where I don't know how many tunes you'll end up playing on, Russell, but I mean, in the end, we have a couple hired guns. These are the people that are super, super talented, and you want to hear them, and they can do the cool fills, and they make the songs recognizable. And so you got those, and then you have like all these. I mean, I just think I think our town is full of very talented folks, and to give an opportunity to sing songs that everybody kind of already knows, it will be a fun evening. So that's
And Jay Zare will be there too.
oh my gosh,
Ah.
Jay Zare, who are you playing with?
Well, it might be a secret at the moment. I haven't confessed to you guys. I've had a kind of a
Nice.
shift of orientation as to what we're going to
A
be
shaft
doing.
of sorts.
But
Nothing like a shift shaft.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to be
Shank,
playing
too,
with
right?
Bruce Johnson
the
as,
Shank.
as well as some other folks.
who's your drummer?
Well, Sean
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's
and Stan will be playing bass with me.
That's awesome. I mean, Bruce Johnson's going to be playing. Also today, Corey Lynn is going to be playing, and she's also going to be playing with a big group.
Right.
As well.
Bruce is also playing with Corey.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's why he's able to be there for me.
Oh,
Listeners, you may be wondering what they're gossiping about. It's September 7th. It's a Friday.
Six.
Oh, it's the 6th. The 6th.
September the 6th. It's a Friday, and it is My Ragged Company, a tribute to the Rolling Stones. What time does it start, Chris?
It's going to start at 7. It's going to be outside
at the
Restless Moons.
Yeah.
Which I know we have to wrap it up. I was
we
going
do.
to say, Restless Moons, such a great venue, letting us play there and bringing us Russell.
Yes.
I mean, it really has. It has brought us you. I mean, like that place has been so good for you. I mean, that's where I've seen you multiple times. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, my dad's caricature is on the
Right.
upper thing, looking down on everybody.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. That's awesome.
Oh, for sure.
Appreciate it. Glad you could do it. I think we're at that time.
Okay, well, thanks to Ruby's Arcade in downtown Irkutsk. It's the secret to winning, you know. It's 43 degrees outside and it's 9 o'clock. I'm Dan Easley.
That wraps it up for Bingo is Life. See you next week, kids.
Thanks.
After the Bronze Age collapse.
Bingo is Life, a post-bingo Harrisonburg podcast, is brought to you by the Brothers Howdyshell and our friends at Ruby's Arcade in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you've enjoyed the show and feel it's worth spreading a little joy in this world, please tell just one person that you like this podcast. Word of mouth, more than any other form of promotion, is how creative works get noticed and sustain themselves. Thank you, Andrew Hickey, for that bit of wisdom, and thank you, listeners, for being part of the fun.